That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Time to talk Vision. All right. So I'd been hearing people rant and rave about this volume. This is like the first thing King did that really got his name on the map for a lot of people. This was coming out roughly around the same time as Omega Men. That and this were just hella popular. Read Omega Men, and we did a Geeky Gentleman on it, so feel free to go watch that. But my overall feeling on Omega Men is it is good. It's just it does a lot of stuff to the character of Kyle Rayner, that's just really hard to see that character go through. So I don't love that. So I've enjoyed Omega Men, but more on a technical level than a personal level. I don't have much connection to Vision, so this is something I'm more open to. And let me tell you, King's good at writing some depressing ass shit. Like you kind of just know looking at this that it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be kind of like goofy, tongue-in-cheek, kind of silly fun style comic book that's just like playing around with tropes and having fun with it, or it's going to be something kind of twisted, kind of depressing, kind of freaky. It's the second one. I love this fucking mailbox. I am in love with this fucking mailbox. Anyway, so the story here is that the Vision has created for himself a family and has moved into a suburb of Washington, D.C. And no one is quite comfortable with it, but everyone is being polite. And just having these kids and this wife interacting with people and dealing with this world is going wrong, and it's creepy and it's weird. Because Vision is very much not a person. So we're dealing with just a lot of shit right now, guys. Let me just talk about this scene. So Viv Vision, who has become a fan favorite very quickly, goes around the corner during a discussion with her mother and brother. She goes around the corner, and this is probably the best page turn reveal I've ever seen in a comic book. Because goddamn, that's a shocking ass moment. Like, we always talk about this with books where, like, you're reading and then a big action moment happens over here when you get to this panel. And, like, your eye is just immediately drawn to that because that's the most colorful, that's the biggest, that's the splashiest, but it's kind of spoiled for you in advance. So the page turn is your way to circumvent that. And that used it really well. So Viv is attacked in her home, and this is where all their problems start. And it is just tragic and sad and creepy and sad, and also tragic and creepy and sad and scary. And so the family is now having to deal with all the fallout from this moment. And it's a while till Viv's back. And this just causing problems in every level of their lives, wherein it's making Vision have trouble at school. It's making his wife have trouble dealing with the issue, especially since she's hiding it from her husband. And it's making Vision have to compromise himself as a superhero. Especially since his wife is hiding what she did by killing this guy that attacked her daughter. Yeah, his son's named Vin Vision. I think I got that right. Did I get it wrong? Visions of the future. Yeah, Vin. They're all named Viz something. This is my wife, Virginia, my daughter, Viv, and my son, Vin. But we just have like things going, absolutely sideways, and people dealing with not really knowing what to do with the existence of a robot family. And it's just creepy and it's weird and it's unsettling. This really isn't a superhero comic in a particular way. This is a horror sci-fi book. It's a really slow burn. It's not like creep you out, gross you out kind of horror. It really deals with preconceived notions. It deals with societal commentary like sci-fi, but it also does just unnerving, unsettling, disturbing things that it's making you think about and deal with as you read through it. So it's kind of sickening in a weird way. And I don't mean that as like a slight against it. It is intentionally doing things to make you uncomfortable as you read it. And it's doing that with superheroes, which is just interesting. There is a fair amount of gore in here too, though. I mean, you had Viv get fucking cut open with a goddamn scythe in that first issue. Like, that's a pretty graphic ass image. And this got a T rating. If that was blood, not wires coming out of her, that would probably get a more of a mature rating for a comic book. And there's this stuff with this cat and this flashbacky kind of scene. It's pretty brutal just seeing a lady murder a cat like that. And like she gets attacked by it too. The blood's pretty striking. And it keeps going, man. It gets pretty brutal. I love these covers, by the way. I love this scene where they do Charlie Brown, but with the Vision's powers. And I really like this conversation between Vin and Viv as they discuss the nature of trust. I will do it again reluctantly, but it will have the same result. Your problem, Viv, is that you do not trust. This is the 7th time I am preparing this game, Vin. The ball has not moved. You have not kicked it. You have not earned my trust. That is not trust. That is prediction. Anyone can predict the future based on past events. This is mere pattern recognition, the lowest form of cognition. Trust is the ability to believe without evidence. It is an act of faith, the highest form of cognition. Understanding and embracing faith moves us closer to humanity. And he just phases through it. So he is very much a boy. He is very much a child at play. And it's fun to invert the Charlie Brown dynamic. But it's also commenting on the idea of trying to understand what it means to be human. There are these like really fascinating ass conversations in this that are just, they're so outsider looking in. Let's see here. This is after some neighbors bring cookies to the Vision's house. And this is a conversation between Vision and Virginia. They seemed kind, nice. It is proper to say they seemed nice. I disagree. Kind carries a much more positive attribution than nice. Nice is, in fact, often used ironically, and I was not being ironic. You misunderstand. It is the ironic aspect of nice that gives the statement its meaning, as kind is unironic. To seem kind is to imply the potential of not being kind or of being cruel. In contrast, nice, due to its ironic interpretation, has a more flexible connotation. As such, they seem nice has a proper meaning of they may be nice or they may not be nice. Then the phrasing is meaningless. Obviously, to assert as truth that which has no meaning is the core mission of humanity. Their mission is meaningless, and yet you insist in it become our mission. I do not insist. I recommend. Red asks, am I a robot? Because this is totally the kind of thoughts that go through my head all the time. Yeah, I mean, right? Like it's such that outsider perspective, and that's what makes it creepy, is these are machines. I've had these thoughts. These are machines trying to understand and dissect and act as if they are people. And yet I have had thoughts about, why do we say this when it really doesn't mean anything? Or why do we act like this is such a noble thing to do? It's so juxtaposed, and it deals with prejudices, and just, it's fucking uncomfortable. Maybe this isn't a hot take. Maybe I'm just, I'm just too late to the party, but this is a horror book, guys. This, in my opinion, is a horror book. I don't want to read this whole speech. Y'all ever heard the Shakespeare, if you prick us, do we not bleed? That whole thing. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be by Christian example? Why revenge? The villainy you teach me, I will execute. And it shall go hard, but I will better the instruction. And that's just Vin's reaction hearing that. And then you get through this whole issue, and there's all this tension and scariness and creepiness, and you're left with Vin saying, "Mother, if you prick me, do I bleed?" That's creepy. That's scary to think about. It deals with questions of machine consciousness. And so, yeah, this is a horror book. That is my determination. And now I want Tom King to do more horror, because this shit is unsettling. This shit is just frighteningly unsettling. And so, as everything has gone horribly wrong for the Visions, we discussed this idea of, where's it at? Oh, no, wait, I was wrong. It was the last issue. P and NP, which is a logical problem for computers. So if you ask, I'll just summarize. If you ask a computer to solve a mathematical equation, it will use a shortcut that's in its programming to give you the immediate answer. It will not run every possible answer to find one that matches. That is a task which will take it forever. But if you ask it to solve a problem that does have an answer, but that it does not have a shortcut for, then the computer, no matter how advanced, will run every conceivable possible answer until it finds the right one. And this is a process that could take decades, if not centuries. And so now Vision has a task, which is to have a good life and raise a happy family. But now he is being surmounted by all these completely illogical things like prejudice. And he is not sure how to deal with them because he is a machine. His understandings of family and humanity come through observation, but not experience. And so his solution to how to deal with the crisis his family is going through is to get them a dog. I mean, just look at this page. Look at Viv sitting there in literally a broken home. And then Vision brings in a dog. And suddenly everything is fixed. Wow, this is a dense ass book. That is just, man. There's a lot going on here that I'm not talking about because I only read it the one time. There's so much density to this, and it's frightening. Not in a gross out way, not in a I can't bear to turn the page kind of way. It's just unsettling. It's just creepy on a philosophical level. There's the quote. You know, I used to do this to my old like novels and stuff. Fuck it, I don't care about Scarlet Witch. Or frankly, the advertisement on the back. Yeah, fuck it. I used to do this to my books in high school. This was my, I suppose, first foray into writing, into reviewing rather. And I've never really done it again since, but, oh, don't I have like a metallic Sharpie? That'd probably be better for this. Sharpies. Who's got all the Sharpies? It's Ian. Can he find the one he needs? Fuck no. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I used to write in my quotes on, like, if I were the one that got to have a quote on the back of the book or whatever, I used to write that into my old books. Like when I was reading novels and stuff in high school, and I've never really done it since. I should take that up again. So let's see here, just in case. I'm gonna put that under. What was it that I said? Creepy on a philosophical level. Not sure how well it will show up for y'all. You can kind of see it. So there we go. That is my quote for the fucking book right there. Oh.
That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.